So today I'm talking about civil structure focus sequence. So civil engineering is you deal with satisfying the basic needs that civilians need, such as buildings, transportation, and shelter, and just like workplace and other things like that. So there's many different branches in civil engineering. You can do hydraulics, which you take care of like dams and other like water infrastructure. There's also transportation, which take care of like highways, bridges, all that stuff. And there's also like earthquake engineering, which takes care of like making sure structures can like handle like earthquakes. And yeah, so there's a lot of different career paths you can take with this. You can do a lot of analyzing and modeling, or you can do a lot of structural analysis. And there's a lot of even like non-structural components that you can get into, such as like all like the tools at the top of a building, like how they behave and how they affect the entire building's behavior. So there's things like that, and there's also things like the layout of a building as well. So today I'm going to be talking about the geotechnical focus sequence and what it does. So geotechnical engineers, they deal with all the problems that we deal with soil and rock. So for example, geotechnical engineers would be the people that you would want to build a foundation for, let's say like your building or something. And so basically, some common questions that you would ask yourself when you're gonna build a building is like, oh, like how deep should we make this foundation? Like how deep can we dig to settle our foundation? And basically, geotechnical engineers deal with this kind of stuff. But the main issues with geotechnical engineers is that they cannot see underground. So like you can't see anything underground. You don't know what's down there. You might hit something, or you might not be in the right soil. And then you also, when you're taking lab examples, the soil behaves very differently compared to like in nature. So that's another huge issue. So yeah. So I'm going to be talking about the aerospace focus sequence and what they do. So aerospace structural engineers, they deal with like designing, building, like producing and testing like all these different new like aircraft and like spacecraft, like and related like other like systems and things like that. And so what that requires is that it requires a very lightweight material to be used, yet very stiff and very strong. And so this requires a lot of analysis on materials and research and like research and development, and like coming up with these new materials and finding these new materials and using them. And so you also need to be like worried about the cost of like these materials too, because it can be very expensive. But the career paths for this are very good. You can go to things like SpaceX and NASA, and it's just a huge growing industry, and it's very interesting. So yeah. So now I'm going to be talking about the structural health monitoring slash non-destructive evaluation focus sequence. And so basically what they do is that they go to the like these infrastructures, these buildings, and they like evaluate the health, like if there's any damages to the building, any failures that they need to worry about. They take care of that. They make sure that everything is good, like safe to use and everything. And so basically it's very advanced now, because now we have these wireless equipment to monitor things health. But one problem that I noticed was that bridges are one of the harder things to monitor, and it's very time intensive, lots of labor to put into, and it's very expensive to do. So that is one of the bigger issues that I noticed with this focus sequence. And yeah. So after going over all of these focus sequences, I think that my favorite is the aerospace sequence for sure. I think it's really cool, and I really like how much like potential there is in this industry too. So I think that's what like brings me into this too, and I just think that like building aircrafts and spacecrafts is like almost like any kid's dreams growing up or something like that. So I think that that's what I'm gonna do for my focus sequence for sure. But yeah, thank you.